today. I am making my husband's breakfast. So I had asked earlier in a post what that might be, and I'm not sure if you're familiar, but I know I have posted about his breakfast many times, and that would be what we call, or what he calls, cowboy beans. So my crazy husband eats cowboy beans every morning for breakfast. Hey Cheryl, hey Vanessa, thank you so much for watching. So yes, cowboy beans. So that's what I am making, and I make them on, or he makes them, we kind of rotate, on Sunday afternoon, and we portion them out so he has them for the entire week. So I wanted to show you how I make those beans, and the reason I wanted to show you that is because in my virtual parties coming up on my next post, I will be talking about our rock crocks, okay? So I make the beans in our rock crock Dutch oven, and so that's why I decided to go live to make the beans. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this over here on my stove. I'm gonna turn it on, and I'm gonna add just some oil. I just am using some olive oil to the bottom of the rock crock. I'll talk a little bit about the rock crock after I get this recipe started, all right? And I'll go over a little bit more about the rock crock. Okay, the next thing that my family loves, and I put in almost everything, is onions. You know us, we love our onions. So I'm going to use the manual food processor to chop up this big giant onion. So let me just take off the bottom and the top. So you know what, y'all comment and let me know if there's something that y'all eat for breakfast every single day, or what do you like to eat for breakfast? Comment with that. My husband started this probably 5 years ago. He's eaten beans every day for 5 years. That's funny, right? All right, so let me just rough chop this onion. Now the manual food processor is one of my favorite products as well, because I use it all the time, because we put onions in absolutely everything. So I just cut them in big chunks and I throw them in there. You unlatch it and then you just pump. All right, so the more you do it, the smaller the pieces will get. I'll show you. What I like about this is that, where's my little skinny one? Boop. What I like about the manual food processor is you're not going to have a liquidy onion mush at the bottom. You're just going to have nice small pieces. Hey Jim, how are you? Small pieces of onions and not liquid at the bottom. So a regular food processor sometimes pulverizes them way too much. Okay, so that is enough for the onions. I'm going to go ahead and add them to the oil in the rock crock Dutch oven over there. So that was one large onion, and it chops it up nice and small. So we'll go ahead and get that added over here. And then the next ingredient that I like to add is a little bit of celery. So again, I'm just gonna rough chop the celery and throw it in my manual food processor. Okay, this is our color-coded chef knife that I'm using. Now, the next ingredient is a Serrano pepper. And this is a rather large Serrano pepper. Most people would want to core the Serrano pepper. And if you want to core it, we have this product called a Core and More. This side is actually a strawberry huller. It takes the little tops right off of the strawberry, but it's also great for seeding things. And the other side, the more of the Core and More, is a melon baller. Quite honestly, I mean, I've never used the melon baller. All right, maybe one time have I used the melon baller. Hey Jill, thanks for watching. But really, who makes melon balls? But this side is the core, and I love it. And I use that side all the time. Now, most people would want to core a Serrano pepper. Nope, not us. We just throw it in their seeds and all. So I just rough chop it. Whoop, almost lost that one on the floor. And throw it in. Obviously, if you don't like it spicy, you're going to want to take the seeds out. All right, now I'm just going to chop this up again. Now, what I like about throwing the Serrano in here, or I use it for a jalapeno or whatever, then you don't actually touch it and get the oils on your fingers, which will, you know, get in your eyes or whatever. Let me just give this a quick chop. Let me scrape down the sides. Awesome. Let me scrape it down. So obviously the more you chop it, the smaller the pieces are going to get. And this needs to be cut a little bit. Every time I do these, the Serrano's, I think it's the essence from the Serrano gets in your throat. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to hold my breath so I don't breathe in any of that. And I'm going to go dump this in with the onions. All right. So now I've got the onions, the peppers, and the celery all cooking away. Okay, we got that going. So while that's cooking, because we want to cook that down, hey Cheryl, we want to cook that down quite a bit. So while that's cooking, I'm going to talk a little bit about the other rock crock products, because this recipe is super, super easy. Okay, so I'm using the rock crock Dutch oven. That's the one I use for soups, stews, chilies, beans, obviously. We also eat a lot of curry in my house. That's our curry pot. Use that for that one. This one right here is the rock crock everyday. So it's about half the size of the Dutch oven. This one I don't use as often, but it's great for like a shepherd's pie. Can go in here. I make lots of desserts in here. This is also good for like a chicken pot pie, that kind of thing. And the other product I wanted to show you is our slow cooker base. So both the Dutch oven and the everyday pan can go in the slow cooker base. So this just turns it into a slow cooker. So the rock crocks can go on the stove, in the oven, under the broiler. It can go in the microwave, out on the grill, and then into the dishwasher. So I love the rock crocks. So besides having these two pieces, we also carry a great big giant one called the Rock Crock XL for extra large. And we also carry a flat one, like a round stone. And that's great if you like to do your pizza outside. So those are that's our rock crock collection. So they're great to have. And like I say, the one that I use most of the time is that Dutch oven, because you can use it for just about anything. So let me give our onions, celery, and serrano a quick stir over here. Okay. So that is pretty much the basics to that recipe. Now, what I like to do is go ahead and add the cilantro. So in my, this is our herb mill, I have a whole bunch of cilantro in here. And I also just threw in some of the tops from the celery stalk. You know, the little leaves from the celery stalk? I just threw those in here too. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in there with the onions, the celery, and the serrano peppers. You just turn it and it comes out like confetti. So instead of having to chop your herbs with your knife, you just put it in there and it'll come out like confetti. So hopefully you guys can see how it works. There's a little ball in there. I'll come show you up closer. So I've just went through all that cilantro right here in the herb mill. And let me just show you what it looks like. So if you already have the herb mill, comment, let me know. But let me show you how it came out. Hopefully you can see. Can you see what it looks like? All the green? So that was all that cilantro. Just comes out like green confetti. So we're just going to put that in there too. Okie dokie. So the other ingredients that I add, I always add fresh garlic as well. But wouldn't you know, we're out of garlic. So Pampered Chef does carry a garlic rub. So I'm just going to throw in about a tablespoon of the garlic rub into that as well. Obviously fresh garlic would be better, but our garlic rub is really good. And our cap is a rough 1 tablespoon measurement. Hey Angela, comment with whose party you're watching me from so you get the points or the tickets. So I just threw in 1 cap full of our garlic rub to that. And I like to add a little bit of our ground cumin, ground cumin. It's not our ground cumin, it's just McCormick's actually. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of ground cumin. And I can't say this, but Tony Chachere, is that how you say it? I'm going to, I don't measure, I'm just going to throw in the Tony's. Here we go, throw that in. That's probably 2 tablespoons of that. And I'm going to stir that all around. Okay? All right, the next thing we need is 1 can of petite diced tomatoes. So I'm going to use our smooth edge can opener, which is right here. Now, many people will get the can opener and they're like, I don't know how to use it. I can't figure out how to open my can. But what I tell everybody is, don't think about it, okay? Just put it on, butt it up to your can. Don't think about it. Turn. It'll automatically attach to your can. You just go around. You'll feel a loosening in the tension. Oh, Lupe was asking me what I'm making. All right, I am making my husband's breakfast. And believe it or not, those are Cowboy Beans. He eats those every day for breakfast. All right, so to get it off, you go around the other way, and it'll take it off. Yeah, the herb mill is a great product. Love our herb mill. All right, so now to take off the lid, you got to use the little birdie beak on the side, and you just lift up, and then you'll have a smooth edge on your lid, no sharp edges, and a smooth edge on your can. Gotta love that, right? So now I'm going to add the petite tomatoes. Let that cook down as well. And we need 1 large, this is 52 ounce, I think, 53 ounce. This is 1 large can of pinto beans. So I'm going to open it again with the smooth edge can opener. Now, my oldest son likes to eat beans for breakfast too. The apple did not fall far from the tree. Hey, Shelby. Oh, great. Thank you so much for joining us. You get an extra 15 points or tickets. All right. Hey, Becky, how are you? All right. So my son, as I was saying, he likes to eat the Cowboy Beans for breakfast as well. But he does his from dried beans, and he actually uses our quick cooker, which is the Pampered Chef's version of a pressure cooker. And he does the same exact recipe, but he cooks the beans in the quick cooker. So my family is a very beanie family, can you tell? All right, let me see. Did I go around? I got so into talking. Okay, I don't think I went around the can. I go around again. All right, so now all this liquid in the can, I'm going to drain out. Hey, Christy, thanks so much for watching. And I'm going to drain it with the Easy Read colander. Why it's called an Easy Read colander is because it kind of goes with our Easy Read measuring cup set, and it does have the measurements on the side. And what I like about this is I'm going to try to turn it so y'all can see what I'm doing. Can you see my sink? Can't tell if you can see my sink. You see my sink? So I put that right here on the edge of my sink, and I just drain the beans into here, let them drain, and rinse them. We don't want all that, whatever that liquid is. So I just drain them in here like that. Let them drain down the sink. I just like the fact that it sits on your edge of your sink right here, right? So for the time frame, usually I let it sit and, drain or whatever and let that cook a little bit longer. But I'm going to go ahead and throw these into my rock crock. So let me move you back over here. All right, so I'm just going to put that into the rock crock, and I'm going to go ahead and drain the rest of them over here as well. All right, so does anybody have our rock crock Dutch oven or any of our rock crock collection? Comment below with what pieces that you have. You always see new, when you watch me cook, you always find new products that you probably overlooked in the catalog, but when you watch me use them, you're like, oh, wow, I need one of those. All right. Yes, that is, who said that? Peggy, yes. I love the fact that it can hook onto the sink like that. So if I was cooking this not live, I just let it drain there for a while I'm doing whatever, or if I'm got other things that I need to drain, I just like it. You can just set it there and forget about it and let it drain. All right, let me go ahead and add these. Okie dokie. You can see how easy this recipe is. So now the next thing I need to add is chicken stock. So I just fill it up. There's, like I said, I don't measure. I'm just going to add the chicken stock. It's probably 3 cups of chicken stock. Here we go. Let me give this a stir. Put the lid on. And then I do let that cook down for probably 2 hours, an hour and a half. Let it cook low and slow. And then when it's done cooking super slow, the last step that we do is he likes this chopped ham. I put it in my little colander and I rinse it and drain it so that to get most of the salt out. And I add that. And that, my friends, is breakfast done for the week. Cowboy beans. Oh, that's great. Yes, the rock crock. Angela said she just ordered her rock crock. And absolutely, I love the rock crock. It is one of the products that I use in my kitchen all the time. So thank you so much for joining me. That's it. That's the whole recipe. It's super quick, super easy. You can have that obviously not for breakfast. It's obviously a bean recipe. So it would be a great recipe to go with your barbecue. I also do what we call the cowgirl version because I'm a vegetarian. The cowgirl version is I use vegetable stock instead. I seed the Serrano, and obviously I don't add the ham. So that is my version of it, but it also tastes great. So you can play with this recipe. You could add anything that you would like to add, maybe Southwestern seasoning instead of the Tony Chachere's, or maybe instead of the cumin. You can add whatever you like to it. Maybe a little bit of, what's it called? My brain's not working. Barbecue sauce. You could add a little bit of barbecue sauce. Whatever you like. Play with it. Alrighty, thank you guys. I appreciate you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.